Hey there, happy Thursday there, it's me, Curiosity Trader. Hopefully having a great trading week. The market's been kind of slow lately. Just gonna go over a quick video lesson for you out there. This one's gonna be kind of, not sure how long this is gonna be. Just gonna talk about the recent post I posted on my blog post, The Realities of Trading Stocks. Just go over some rules, some things that I've learned over the past 7 years, okay? And again, all of this is my opinion. Once more, this channel is mainly geared to those who want to learn about the stock market and hopefully can learn from me. Again, I'm not claiming to be a millionaire trader. I'm not. I'm tracking my process and route to becoming an elite trader. Alrighty? But first and foremost, okay, remember, I always say one thing. The best thing you can do is do nothing, okay? The past couple of, really this whole month, like any business in the world, there's always going to be opportunity, okay? The market's always going to be there. But we're really coming off a hot theme run lately of silver and gold, and we're kind of on the backside now. You know, we're on the backside of these moves, and there really hasn't been no great long opportunities on the long side. I mean, congrats if you did short this. As I mentioned, I pretty much butchered this short, but congrats to those who did get long short this. But again, like this whole week, I have not placed one trade this entire week. I've been busy with doing life, but that's another thing. You have to find a balance in life, okay? But remember, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. Always remember that. And right now, who knows what's going to happen? Again, I'm not saying we're going to have a massive panic, but one thing I want to tell you, okay, most of the true big money comes after these declines. You know, it leads to a nice rally. So I'm hoping we go lower. Hopefully we do. But who knows? Just always be reactive and not predictive, as I say. But we're just gonna go over these rules right here on the blog post for y'all. Nothing really I'm watching for the rest of the week. Probably will not trade tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Friday. I don't really see nothing going on. But let's go over these rules, okay? And let's start with this right here, okay? Now, before I go over these rules, let me say one thing. Again, most of the people, as I go through this list, okay, I want you to understand, most of this stuff is repetitive. It's designed to be that way, okay? You don't have to try to reinvent the wheel. Most people try to overcomplicate things. I think that's what Wall Street does. They try to throw these big terms out there to you and just dumb it down. Keep it simple, stupid. There's no need to overcomplicate something because it's human nature, right? It's patterns, right? And they're never going to change because it's driven by human nature. The same thing that are happening now happened a decade ago, happened 2 decades ago, and it's going to happen a decade from now, and so on and so on. Okay, so most of the list is, most of them are all going to intertwine in some way. And if it's repetitive, good. Okay, you're learning. It's not rocket science. Okay, but this really always stood out to me right here. The perfect speculator, the perfect gambler, if you will, must know when to come in. More importantly, he must know when to stay out. And most important, he must know when to get out once he's in. Excuse me. That is a nutshell, okay? Trading is a mere reflection of you. That's all it is. The greatest enemy you have is yourself. It's going to be yourself. At the end of the day, it's you versus you, okay? The hardest part is doing nothing, okay? And it takes time getting to the point of finding out what you're best at. But let's just go over this one by one, okay? Number 1, trading is simple to learn, brutally hard to master. Clicking buy and sell is easy, controlling emotions isn't. Okay, now, you're never really going to master trading, okay? You learn specific setups within your personality, but you're never going to, in a sense, master the markets because the market's always going to be one step ahead of you. Your job is to exploit your edge within your trading system. Now, as you evolve as a trader, psychology is really going to be a pivotal factor. Now, again, I can argue that psychology is somewhat false if you have an effective trading system. Most people blame psychology before they realize they don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay? If you know what you're doing, that's fine, that's great. But sometimes you're gonna go on a drawdown, and that's gonna affect your emotions. You have to be able to handle that. There's been periods in my trading career where I made no money, and that's, at times it's hard because you're coming to the screen wanting to make money, right? That's why we're all here. We want to click a button if you're shorting or going long, whatever it is, and you think it's a waste of time by doing nothing, but you have to tell yourself, no, your goal is survival, okay? But don't really focus on mastering the market. Just learn to master your thoughts, I would say. But trading is simple to learn. It really is. You don't really have to overcomplicate shit. The things I've been doing right now, I've learned from other people. Now, don't copy strategy. Don't go from style to style. In the beginning, yes, you're not going to know what to do, so it's fine. You kind of have to experiment and kind of fail small. That's a key thing. Fail small, because you want to be in the game. If you're not in the game, then what's the point of this? But once you find out, learning is so easy nowadays in the internet. There's so much great resources online. Again, make sure you're looking at credible resources, but there's so much material out there right now compared to how there was 20 years ago. And it's only going to get easier, and the competition's only going to get harder, right? So it's just that in a nutshell, okay? But yeah, that's what I would say. Trading is simple to learn. Yes, it'll take years to master. Yes, but you're never going to master yourself. If you master yourself, the rest will come. Most losses come from psychological, not bad setups, FOMO, revenge trading, overtrading, and hesitation comes more accounts and charts too. Yes, I wrote that mainly because, again, well, I would say bad setups too, yes, but most losses come from psychology. Again, these are two kind of tied into one. If you don't have a setup, it's going to affect everything, okay? Because you're just trading random shit. And you're going to revenge trade, overtrade, hesitation. Now, hesitation for me is no longer really affected. I'm not affected by it because I just think in terms of odds and probabilities. And that's really what you have to shift your mind to, is thinking in terms of those odds. Thinking that, it's kind of hard to shift your mind to that. It's kind of hard to shift your mind into like a probabilistic mindset, because we're not wired that way. We want to be given a formula and have an exact way, but that's not how the market works. The market is uncertain, right? So I do agree most losses come from FOMO, revenge trading, overtrading, and the way to really filter that out is just to have a setup, okay? Have a system. Have a system of what you do. And what I do is going to be different from what you do. Okay, you may be crushing it in this market right now. They may be setups for you, on the short side. That's awesome. But like on my trading style, with these opening range plays, these flags, there's really nothing going on right now. But for you, that's awesome. If it's working for you, and you have to recognize that like over trading. If I am a classic over trader, I've been doing really well this past month or past 3 weeks, and. Yeah, but yet whenever you have a system, the overtrading's gonna go away, But that word ties to hesitation. Like if you're on a losing streak, you're gonna be kind of scared to take the next trade, right? But that's where you have to shift your mind in terms of thinking of odds. A loss only puts you much closer to a win, in my opinion. And again, don't focus on having a high win rate. Don't focus on having. That doesn't really matter in the end. What matters is having a positive expectancy in the long run in your trading career, okay? And of course, keeping your losses small and maximizing your wins on your playbook trades, And the only way to get to that status level is to have longevity. And the way to have longevity is by not overtrading, not bleeding your account. Again, FOMO is real, okay? I still suffer from it sometimes, but I've learned that like if you miss a play, guess what? There's always going to be one down the road. Okay? There always is. Consistency better than home runs, boring singles compound fast, and chasing one massive win. Now, this is kind of 50-50, but in the beginning, well, not really. compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, as I believe it was Warren Buffett said. I think, maybe wrong, I don't know. But compounding, okay? Again, in a trading year, you're going to have a few outlier trades, a few, I call it home run trades, like we've seen on the silver, they offer numerous entries. These are what I call home run trades on SNDK. This is a 5-star setup. Okay, you're going to have one of these every year, right? Or even a BNAI, which I freaking missed. I got long. Look at, I missed the initial move all the way up to $86, right? These are home run trades. But the rest, the rest of it is just singles. But you have to know when. You have to know when to size up in those home run trades, right? And the rest is just compounding, And again, get off social media. It's great, but understand that everyone has their own unique journey. Everyone's starting from somewhere. Don't compare your P&L to someone else's P&L. Okay, you're trading you. It's you versus you. So as long as you're in the game, growing your account organically, in the long run, you're gonna win, and it's okay, man. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you I make $100,000 a month. No, I'm not there yet. I'm being transparent, right? But that's the goal, but I'm compounding my gains slowly but surely. And that's what that's really about. So don't really try to go every trade, like don't go full size on every trade. No, always have proper position size, which I'll talk about later on, because I think many people do not have proper size in their entries. Early on, they're oversized in comparison to what their trading count is. And that's really not what you want to do, because you could really, again, your goal is longevity. I want to say it one more time. Your goal is to outlast your enemy, in a sense, stay in the game. Okay, so focus on home runs. Again, as I think it was Bruce Lee said it best, I don't fear the man who practiced 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who practiced one kick 1,000 times. Okay, think of it like that. So in the trading system, you're gonna have outlier moves like SNDK, all these silver themes, home run trades, once a year, twice a year, hopefully more than that. But the rest is just consistency. So don't expect to have like those big trades every day. Okay, they're gonna come. You'll know it when they come. Okay, it's gonna be screaming at you. You'll know it. Believe me, you'll know it. You will lose a lot. Losing trades are part of the job, not a sign you're bad at trading. Okay, I talked about that earlier already. A loss is a loss. I don't really give a shit if I lose. Again, I have a trading system. I get stopped out a lot. But again, if you get stopped out within the trading system, like let's say I'm buying a stock. Like let's just say, for instance, like I'm trying to think of a perfect example that like for instance, if you get stopped out of stock, right? And if, like, again, always have an entry point, always have a risk point, always have an exit, okay? My strategy, I really buy risk low of day. If it stops me out, but the setup comes back and sets up, I'm going to rebuy it. If the setup is valid, you have to, okay? Because the market does not give a shit. It's a setup, trade it. So you're going to lose a lot. Get used to losing. The main issue with a lot of individuals is they lose too big too soon. And in most of my trades, I like to size in on the home run trades. I wanted to prove my thesis until I go full size. Sometimes. Most of the times I just like go all in. Full size, what I want. Not all in my account, it's crazy. But losing, just because you're on a drawdown or something like that, it doesn't mean you're doing something bad. Again, as I mentioned, the market right now is not doing really well. A key indicator that I use, I learned not from Kristen Kalamagi. I don't know what that is there, forgive me. What Kristen Kalamagi mentioned with the overall markets is that you want to use it as an indicator. You want to, whenever the setups are valid, you're going to have a nice rally off the lows. As I mentioned, there's moving averages, there's surfing, right? But whenever we're on pretty much right now, they're all declining, it's declining below these moving averages. So it's not really a good environment to go on the long side right now. Again, that does not mean that there's no setups. It's just the odds are not going to be in your favor, okay? So in the market like we're in right now, it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to back off on size, you know. So if you're losing right now in the market, it's fine as long as you know why you're losing. If you're trading a trading system, that's all that matters. And if you're losing, okay, understand market conditions are not favorable right now. Just take a step back. But unless you're just trading randomly and you're losing, then yes, that's an issue. Okay, if you're just trading randomly, if you're losing, then that's an issue. But if you're losing within your trading system, that's fine. Okay, it's a part of trading. Just minimize those losses, and that really what goes into the next one. Risk management matters more than entries. A mediocre setup with tight risk beats a perfect setup with no stop. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, again, you want the best risk to reward setup at all times, right? And now, this is kind of counterintuitive, in my opinion. It really depends on how good the setup is, in my opinion. But risk management is the number one goal of any trader, you know, and of course the entries. But if you have improper size on your entry, right, and it goes against you, you're gonna not do well, you know. And like within every trade I take, I always have a fixed dollar amount in my head, which I'm potentially max going to lose on a trade, and that determines the size of my position. Okay, and I always know beforehand my stop. Your best friend in the market is your stop loss. Okay, that's your best friend, is a stop loss. That's your best friend. So a mediocre setup with tight risk beats a perfect setup with no stop. That is true, because if you have no stop, then you're just, in my opinion, you're gambling. You know, you don't want to do that. So setup, again, always have an entry point, always have a stop point, always have a target price. Now, I don't really focus on a target price. I don't say, okay, I want this, I'm going to hold this, it goes to X, Y, and Z. You don't think that way. I always think in terms of risk adverse. I've always been wired that way. I think to myself, what is the worst potential scenario that can happen? Because you want to be in the game, as I mentioned. I'm going to say that numerous times. You want to be in the game. You have to be in the game. If you're not in the game, you have no odds of winning. Okay, so always focus on risk. Okay, I heard this best on a Market Wizards, or I think it was Chat with Traders. Always know the exit in a room whenever you walk in. Same with trading. Always know the exit before you put the trade on or right when you enter. Okay, the market does not care about your opinion. You can be right logically and still lose money. This is 100% true on everything we've seen in the entire market. And I gave you examples. You know, a perfect example was GME back in the heyday when it had its massive short squeeze. Everyone on Wall Street was saying this fundamentally blah 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 that does not justify that move. And again, here's a hint, guys and gals. It was even back before then. It was, wow. Here's a hint. Price action always wins. Okay, price action at the end of the day is the only thing that matters. No one thought this shit, again, they had a reverse split, but this move was crazy. You know, even with recently, like the silver, you know, everyone's been saying it's too high, it's fundamentally doesn't deserve to go that high, and their opinions don't mean nothing. Okay, here's one thing I've learned in doing this: filter out the noise. Most people don't know shit, including me. Don't listen to me. You know, do your own work. But most people don't know shit. That's why it's very important. Very important. Okay? Very important to just focus on you. Okay? And focus on your setups. Don't worry about other people, outside news. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is price. Do not say. The worst thing you can say, in my opinion, is this stock can't go higher. You know, the fundamentals don't justify going higher, blah, all that stuff. You know, the market can do whatever it wants to do, right? And the moment you realize that, you're gonna be free. in some sense, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that makes any sense. The next one I really do enjoy talking about. It's very true. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I made it. I'm not. I can still blow up my account. Who knows? But if I do, I'll just get back in it. That's how much I love this. Most traders quit right before they get good. Their learning curve is steep. Progress usually comes after long frustration. This is 100% true. Okay, roughly 95% will fail in the long run. And before I go into this, I want to tell you, you have to love doing this. I mentioned this before. If you're not obsessed with this in some sense, you're not going to make it. And I'm not saying you have to be a monk, but what are you willing to do to win, in a sense, and again, I go back to doing this all the time. I have a database of stock charts. This is 1 year. This tweet is my life right here. I put my heart and my soul into my work, and I've lost all my mind in my process. Vincent Van Gogh. But this is 1 year, okay, of a database, and I have one for every year. And of course, looking back, when I first started, I was just doing random stock charts because I don't know what I was looking at. But as I evolved, I focused on a system. I honed my trading down to a specific criteria, and it takes time to get there. I'm not saying I mastered it by any sense of my imagination. I have not. Things take time. But if you really want to do this for the long run, you have to think in terms of decades. That's what you have to do. Think in terms of decades. And again, I've been in the market since I was 18. I am 26 today. I have grown so much as an individual, okay? And you may be wondering, he's been doing it since 18. Why hasn't he made millions yet? Again, I've only been trading with real money for the past 2. And I've been learning and doing other things like back testing and stuff. But in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have traded back then with real money. But you can't think of terms of the past. The past does not matter. Only the future does. The next important move is the next move, or the most important move is the next move. But if you're if you're thinking about quitting right now, only do it if you don't see yourself doing this in 10 years. And that's the best I can put it. Don't quit because it's too hard and all that. If you really love doing this, you'll find a way. And it's not really only about the money. The money is great. The money is always a byproduct. It's why we trade. But whenever you're on a drawdown, in a sense, you don't have to think why you got into trading. Why are you doing this? For instance, these videos, these YouTube videos I do. I hope y'all learn something from me in some sense, or but I do it for myself because I love talking about this. And I love cataloging my journey, and who knows where I'll be 10 years from now or whatever, and you don't really know. You'll never know if you quit. You never know, you never know. So I have a question. What's the risk? You have nothing to lose in a sense. So what's the risk? Always think of that terms. But I always, a great chart always comes to mind, the exponential curve of lateral growth, the valley of death. Most people are in their valley of death. You have to focus. You'll get there. Don't give up, okay? Trading is lonely. Yeah, sometimes. Network, comes down to that. Just network. Find a good trade community. And if you live in a good city, I guarantee you there's a lot of trading networks within them. Social media, let me see. Social media shows highlights, not drawdowns. I talked about that one kind of earlier. Just focus on your lane, okay? You don't have to try to compare yourself. Again, someone's always going to make more money than you. That's the art of trading. Someone's always going to have more wins than you. That's the art of trading. Okay, don't focus on them, focus on you. You're running your race, okay? I talked about this one kind of already. Overtrading is the fastest way to blow up. More trades equal more money. Not true, not true, not true. Less is often more. Quality over quantity. Focus on the A+ trades and I promise you, you're going to outperform most people in the markets, okay? Focus on those outlier trades, like I mentioned, like the LSLVs on the front side of the move, okay? 5 star, 5 star. Just as I mentioned earlier, like on the SNDKs of the world, 5 star, 5 star, okay? Focus on the A+. The rest is just noise, okay? The rest is just noise. No need to overtrade. Discipline, and also the market right now, it's been slow. No need to overtrade. Back to that, no need to. Discipline beats intelligence. Smart people fail all the time because they can't follow the rules. That is often true. I see a lot of people compare like high intellect with trading. That's not true. You don't have to have a high IQ to trade, and it doesn't really like correlate. Like you don't have to have a degree. People think you have to become smart to get a degree to do this shit. You don't have to. Okay, if you look at the best traders in the world, look at their background. Okay, look at the background. Most of them have no financial background. Like Christian Kalamangi, for instance. He was a security guard. Look at him now. That's just one of them. Many more. But the smartest people think too much. Okay, be stupid. If you realize, look around the world. Most dumb people are rich. You know why? Because they don't think, they act. They don't think. In their mind, failure doesn't really wire. If that makes any sense. They're that stupid. Okay? So, you don't have to be the smartest. You just have to be the most disciplined. Okay? You have to be the most disciplined. Showing up every day whenever you don't want to show up. Tracking trades whenever you don't want to track trades. Looking at charts whenever you don't want to track charts. Goes back to what I talked about earlier. How bad do you want to do this? Okay? How bad do you want to do this? Okay? I promise you, I'm pretty sure you heard this before, numerous times. Hard work will beat talent all damn day long. Okay? If you show me someone who's obsessed, and if you show me someone who is talented, I guarantee you the person who is obsessed will devour that talented person. I guarantee you he will. Okay? It's wired that way. Okay? Let's see here. You don't need to overtrade every day, or you don't need to trade every day. Sitting out is a position. That's why I just talked about right now. Right now, there's nothing going on right now. There's absolutely nothing going on right now in the markets. And that's fine. Whenever you have things like this, just go out and live life. Go for a run, go to the gym, go do something you love doing. Okay? There's no need to sit in front of a screen. And again, here's a common thing I always say. If you're having to look for a trade, that's when you pretty much know you should not trade. If you have to look for a trade, no. The good trades reveal their hand like a poker player. The best tickers that move, they'll yell at you. Like SNDK, all these silver themes, they're going to jump off on the chart to you. If you're looking for a stock to trade like in your scans or something, that's really not the way to go. Okay? And sitting out is a position. Cash is king. Cash is king. That's a lot harder to do for most people. They want action all the time. They want the move. But in reality, you just have to focus on you. Focus on not ever trading, It's hard though, but you'll learn eventually. One good strategy is enough. Strategy hopping keeps you broke. Yes, 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 yes. All you need to do is find one or two things in the market and exploit them over and over again. And again, in the beginning, you're really not going to know what to do in the beginning. That's perfectly fine. Again, you're new, so everything's going to be brand new to you. My best advice was just be to trade, keep it small, and learn. Track your trades. You'll learn what works best for you over the long run. And once you do, you want to exploit said edge. Okay? But I promise you, I don't know who you are, right? But I guarantee you, once you find your system, you're going to have a money printing solution for the rest of your life. I promise you. Trading is a long-term skill, not a get-rich-quick scheme. Treat it like a business, not a lottery ticket. Okay? This is 5-star. Now, trading is a gift and a curse. Okay, let me explain. That's why it's a quick allure to trading. How many people? There's no barrier to entry. Anyone could come to the internet, open up a broker account within less than 10 minutes and call themselves a trader. Okay, they see the Lambos, they see all the flashes on Instagram, on social media. Buy this stock, you become a millionaire. No, again, lasting success takes time. There's people in 2020. Okay, now this market was one of the hottest markets. I'm only 26, so I missed the .com bubble back in 2000s, but this market during COVID was one of the greatest bubbles ever. Again, true wealth is made after a depression or recline. That's how it is. But this rally was probably the best 2 years in stock market history. Millions were made, true wealth. Okay, but I guarantee you, people back in this era, some are not even trading right now. I guarantee it. Okay, I guarantee it, because they got lucky. They got handed a hot market. Okay, but whenever you have times like this, that's when they bleed their account. And I want to tell you, you have to think in terms of decades. You have to think in terms of decades. Do you want to do this for the long term? I want to trade for the rest of my life. Even though I'm not to the point to where I want to be at right now. That's my goal. And I knew that from day one. I knew that this was going to be a long process. I didn't think to become rich overnight. That's my worst nightmare. That's why most lottery winners go bankrupt over the course of their life, because they didn't develop the characteristics en route of becoming that person. The person you're trying to become, he's in the future. He's there, right? But you have to develop the characteristics of an elite trader to get there. You don't want to get rich trading off a hot market, just pushing, not getting lucky. Like back in 2020, you can make money every day. It was pretty much free money back then. Okay, the market was going up. It was crazy, and I promise you, think in terms of decades. Okay, widen the lens. Focus on your process, and you'll get there. Okay, and this is the last point that really ties into everything I want to tell you. Survival is success. Staying in the game long enough is how traders actually make it. Okay, I want to tell you this. I've seen it. Every elite trader I've studied said one thing. They stuck around long enough till they finally got it. They found out who their personality was. And that's what I want you to tell you. If you love doing this, it ties into the last sentence even here. Staying in the game. If you love doing this, right here. If you love this game, you'll find a way to succeed. It may take years, but I promise you, looking back, typo, you'll be grateful you kept going. That is true. Okay? I promise you, look at me. Well, you can't see me, but listen to me. 10 years from now, imagine where you'll be. Imagine. I'm 26, okay? And 10 years from now, I'll be 36. The skills are with me for life. I have nothing to lose. Zero. But I have everything to gain. Okay? But the only way I get there is by staying in the game. And that's my last point I want to make to you, okay? If you love doing this, staying in the game is your best odds of success. You have to be in the game to play. Just like going to a casino. Whenever you lose all your poker chips, go home. They don't want you there. The casino only wants you there when you're betting. Okay, like the stock market. If you have no money, you can't bet. Okay, staying in the game increases your odds of success. It does not guarantee you your success. No, it guarantees you a chance in playing in the game. Okay, but those are my rules for you. The Reality of Trading Stocks by Curiosity Trader. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. This is kind of a longer one. I'm gonna try to do these every once in a while, but please subscribe to my Substack page. Just look up Substack, and if you have Substack, look up Curiosity Trader. That's my screen name. Other than that, happy trading. I'll see you next time.